What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. It is your boy James here, and today I have a really interesting topic, and I think a lot of my Finnish viewers are going to find this super interesting. Today I want to talk about how living in Finland for 5 years has changed me and changed my life. Now this is going to be very interesting because for many Finnish people, they don't often see like foreigners from countries far away coming and living here. But I moved to Finland. I'm originally Australian from Asia when I was 18 years old. So I grew up in Melbourne, Australia most of my life, and then lived around Asia when I became a teenager, and then I moved to Finland in the winter of 2018. Now moving to Finland was like a massive culture shock for me because before that I'd been living in Hong Kong, which if anyone knows anything about Hong Kong, it's a very busy, fast-paced city. And Hong Kong is a very small landmass with about 7 million people, if I remember correctly, living on that landmass. So it's an absolutely wild city, and it's very different to, well, what you see behind me here in Helsinki. So that basically brings us on to the first topic of how Finland has changed me. It has made me a lot more used to quietness. Now this is a really interesting one I want to kind of get into. So most of the countries I've lived in have always been very loud and busy. I mean, I lived in Singapore, I lived in Hong Kong, I was born in Melbourne, Australia, I lived in Macau. So I've always lived in cities that are really busy. And also culturally, they're very different. For example, Australian and Asian people, I think, are a lot more naturally outgoing.
Hi, I'm Jackson, and today I'm going to be teaching my Japanese buddy how to be Australian.
And I'm not trying to say that Finnish people are all quiet and everything. It's not like that. But I mean, culturally, people are just naturally a bit more out there and upfront. For example, if I go here, like down to the mall, or if I go to a bus stop in Finland, 99.9% chance no one's just going to come and talk to me for no reason. Like, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Like, that so rarely happens. But I remember in Australia or in Asia, like, you'll always just end up talking to strangers, and strangers will end up talking to you. So you get very used to like that way of doing things. So being here, it was definitely a massive shock and took me a lot of time to get used to the fact that maybe people are just a little bit more quieter. And naturally it makes you then more quiet. It even got to the point where I felt like I was almost becoming a little bit antisocial. Not really. That's also like my responsibility and on me. I think I wasn't going outside too much. One reason, by the way, is the winter weather, which we're going to talk about later in this video. But yeah, that's one thing that has completely changed me. It's made me a lot more quiet and also a lot more capable of being with myself at my own time, which I think is a great thing. Because many years ago, I always like had to be seeing people and had to be doing things, and maybe there were things I was trying to distract myself from in life. But here I've gotten very used to just like being by myself and like dealing with the quietness and being like, okay. So that's a funny one. The next point it brings me on to is the weather. This is a funny one because I still don't think I'm actually used to it. So like I said, I've been living here in Finland now for 5 years. It's been a little on and off. Like technically I've been living here on paper the whole time, but I've been traveling a lot throughout that time. So I can't complain too much. I've spent a lot of winters away, but I've also had quite a few winters here. And the weather in winter, I just have not gotten used to. For me, the main problem is the darkness. I don't mind the cold so much, but it's just when it, like now the season we're in, it's getting dark really early already. I mean, I was born on the golden beaches of Southern Australia, so it's a little bit different to here when it's, you know, December and everything's grey and wet and cold and slushy and snowy. It's a crazy thing, and I don't know if I'll ever get used to that. It always is a shock when the winter comes for me. I start getting very tired and exhausted and feeling a little bit off always. That's also over the past few weeks how I've been feeling, just really like lethargic and off. Maybe that happens to other people. I'd be curious if any Finns are watching this. Does that also happen to you? But also when we talk about weather, the summers here are the best in the world. I have not found a country that has a better summer than here in Finland. I think Finland has the most beautiful summer, and the summer experiences that people here like to do, like going to summer cottages, or even just like going to swim at the lake with your friends, or walking around the street when it's, you know, midnight but the sun is still on the horizon. It's the best thing in the world. So I absolutely love the summer. There is a trade-off. The summer is short, the winter is long. You know, you have to brace yourself that the winter is coming. Now, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be wondering about my Finnish language skills. Oikeasti suomen kieli on tosi vaikea. Mä en tykkää puhua tää kieli, koska se kuulostaa tämältä. Tämä. It sounds like this, you know. Se ei ole hyvä. Mutta mä ymmärrän kaikki. I have gotten to a point now where I understand basically all Finnish. So it's really cool if I like watch a show, or if I hang out with some friends who want to talk Finnish with each other for some reason, or meet a stranger on the street, I can understand Finnish like 90%. So that's really cool. And I definitely have learned way more about the language, but my speaking is just so bad. And I don't like speaking, and people always tell me, speak Finnish, speak Finnish. It's quite hard. The only person I'll let force me to speak Finnish is my mother, because she always likes when I speak Finnish. So that's one thing. For anyone watching this who's maybe foreigner and is coming to Finland or whatever it is, the language is tricky and it will take some time to get used to.
Perkele, siihen et koske, saatana vie. Saatana.
I think from what I know, there are much easier languages in the world to learn than Finnish. Finnish is quite hard. My writing is also very, very bad. But it's just something I think it's worth getting used to, and at least learning a bit if you come here. But when I first moved here, I had like no intention of really learning the language, because if I'm honest, I did not think I would stay in Finland for so long. I thought I'd come here, do the army, and then go home. But then things changed, and here I am. So we're here 5 years later, which is quite hilarious. So it's definitely worth learning the language if you're going to live here longer. If I knew I was going to be living here for 5 years, I definitely would have spent more time learning the Finnish language. But overall, I think Finland has changed me in some very good ways. There might be a few negatives, but you'll pick these up if you go anywhere in the world. Because if you go to a place which isn't familiar, and it's a new culture and it's a new country, you're going to get things you like and things you don't like from the experience, and that's completely normal. If I can wrap it all up in a way that I can say it simply, I have definitely enjoyed my time here in Finland. There's things that are just hard for me, like I said earlier, so I do like to travel when winter comes around, if I have the luxury to do so, and I'm very grateful for that. But overall, it definitely is a great country, and you know, me being half Finnish, it's been nice to connect with this side of my heritage. You know, I grew up most of my life away from this country, so it's been nice to be able to like connect with that side of me and actually been able to spend real quality time here. So I think going forward, I'm still going to continue living in Finland. I'm not sure exactly what the future brings. Anyone who's been following me for a long time knows things can change very quickly for me, so you never know, I might be living in a new country tomorrow or the day after. But for now, for the foreseeable future, I see myself here in Finland, and as you guys know, I've gotten this apartment here in Helsinki, and I'm now living in Helsinki. But I wanted to make this video for 2 reasons. Number one, for the Finnish people who follow me, I'm sure they're interested about how my experience here in this country has been. But I also wanted to make it so that any foreigners who may be moving to Finland, whether it's for work or they're moving here because they want to, or whatever it is, can actually watch this video and maybe get a gauge kind of what to expect. Because it can be a very different country to move to if you're from somewhere that's completely opposite like I was. But overall, I think you'll have a great time. It might just take a bit of time to get adjusted to it, and I would recommend coming in summer and not coming in winter. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. It's been your boy James. If there's anything you want me to talk about, please do let me know in the comments, because I'm looking forward to covering many topics. I have a lot to talk about. Have a great day. Love you all. Bye.